What is up, guys? Chance with the Traveling Medic. I've got my brother Tyler with me.
What's up, dude?
We are currently on our way to Guadalupe River State Park. Less than 24 hours ago, I shot him a text, said, hey, I want to go camping. So it's very last minute. We're going like 30, 45 minutes away from our houses. So we're not backpacking, it's not gonna be anything crazy. It's like I said, it's a fast overnight. I've got some comfort items I want to test out. I've got a new sleeping bag. I've got a new like sleeping pad and a new cot that I'm gonna be testing out. I'll take y'all along, just kind of enjoy it and let you know how it goes. Alrighty, guys, so we just made it. It is like 7:30. We got some people out here. Try and be relatively quiet while we get set up. Basically, we're gonna take the totes we brought that has all of our camping stuff. We're gonna go find our campsite, and then before I do anything, first things first, I'm gonna start a fire for us, and then hopefully get cooking there shortly after, or kind of after we get all set up and everything like that.
I switched to this little lavalier mic. One, these campgrounds are pretty close together. We're at the walk-in ones here, so you walk like 100 yards from our vehicle, but the campgrounds, like I said, are pretty close. So I'm gonna try not to be super loud. Luckily, having this, I can kind of whisper and talk to you all a little bit better and still be heard. First things first, we're gonna get a fire going. One, for warmth, it's a little chilly out here. I think tonight the low gets into like, feels like a 30, which isn't bad. If you watched the last Big Ben video, it was cold. It's not that bad. And I think I have some better gear for this one as well. So yeah, first things first, we're gonna start a fire. Alright, so in Texas state parks, you can't gather firewood. So we had to bring all of our firewood in. So I'm gonna have to take and make some kindling out of the firewood that we got and process it down. Now it's actually kind of a good thing we did that. There's been quite a bit of rain recently, so all this can be a little too wet for us to actually use. I'm gonna get to processing and then go from there. Alright, so I've processed this little piece of wood down decently far, and then from here what I'm going to do, instead of using that axe, I'm going to use a more controlled method. I'll take my knife, kind of pry my knife up, and then use another piece of wood to kind of knock it in and finish it off. So by doing that, that's how we end up with these like super small pieces of wood. They're going to be a little bit easier to light. So I'm going to keep on this, and then once I start making the fire, I'll catch back up with y'all. I've processed quite a bit down now. I've got some small stuff here, and then over here off to the side, I've just got a little bit smaller ones. So what I'm gonna try and do is I've got some cotton balls that have been soaked in Vaseline. Actually, looks like I have some cotton balls, and then I have some Vaseline separate, and this is kind of gonna be my base. It'll burn for quite some time. I'm gonna try that and try and flint and steel. And then honestly, if this doesn't work out how I'm wanting it to, I've got some fire starters and some matches and a lighter that will kind of try and get this going. So first things first, we're just taking some of these kind of cotton balls, turn them up a little bit, coating them in some Vaseline, putting Vaseline in the center of them. I'm gonna make sure and save some, one for a fire in the morning, two in case I need more of them. Kind of put those right there. I've got some of these pieces of wood kind of fanned out too, some bark in here, stuff like that to grab. All that's kind of right here next to me. I'm gonna try the flint and steel, see if I can get anything with it. Alright, so there's that. Start putting some of this lighter wood on. Some of these ones that are fanned out a little bit. Hopefully that'll start catching some. And then we'll kind of just slowly but surely start adding some more in as well. It's catching some. We're gonna fan it. I kind of fanned too early. Alright, so there's how that went, and just like that, the hard work that I got so excited for there for a second, it's all gone. So, back to this. And this is how you know that this is a kind of real world, and that I'm going to struggle with getting this fire going.
A few moments later.
Just going to keep kind of following that TP pattern as we do this. I'm going to be cautious and not overstack a whole lot of wood, otherwise it's not going to have enough airflow. And I feel like this side over here might be kind of in that predicament now. So we're just going to kind of help it fan it along All right. I lied. I said next one would be me cooking. However, I left Tyler tending to the fire. I'm going to start working on getting my sleep system set up. He's got coals going. I mean, he can tend to the fire and do perfectly fine with that. So I'm going to get my tent up. I'm using the North Face Eco Trail Camp 3. I used it in Big Bend. I loved it. It's a brand new tent to me. I got it for Christmas. Shout out to my wife for that wonderful gift. Okay, so I'm going to get the tent set up. Something else that I've gotten for this round is I got a cot. I never use a cot, so this is gonna be new for me, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be nice to have. There's the main body of the tent. I keep my poles pretty separate, and the only reason for that being backpacking. It's a whole lot easier to keep it separate if I want to take the tent backpacking. One thing that's super nice about this tent is it is incredibly easy to set up. It's really like one whole pole system. Now, it can be somewhat of a pain to make sure that everything's in line. So the main thing to remember is if you're going to be using this tent, this like little H bar is your horizontal. See, and sometimes it gets a little wonky, and this is where it gets a little bit more difficult to set up. And then from here, it's just these quick little snap-ons. Okay. It's the main body. I'm gonna stake it down now. I will say, one thing that's weird about having this lavalier mic on is I'm used to like talking directly to the camera, and right now I'm like 15 feet away from it, so I feel like I'm talking to myself, but really I'm talking to you guys. So I hope you're enjoying the video. This is the item I'm very excited for. The first time ever, I'm going to use the cot. I've never used a cot while camping. Always kind of thought like it's cheating, I guess, in a way, but I recently found this one, and there's a killer deal going on it, so I went ahead and got it. And boom, this is done. So that one comes with some legs that I can use to make it a little bit taller. However, I'm not going to use them just because the tent, I feel like, wouldn't have enough headroom. Alrighty. The next thing I've got is my REI sleeping pad. So I also got this, I think I got this for my birthday. Again, shout out my wife. She's pretty fantastic. Something down in here. What is down in here? Oh look, there's a steak. So this sleeping pad's pretty fantastic, honestly. It's a semi-self-inflating, I guess you could call it. To inflate, we're just gonna open up the red valve only, allow it to inflate on its own for just a little bit. And then I will come back, and if it needs a little bit more, kind of blow into it some, and just fill it up a little bit more. And we'll clean up some. I'll grab my steaks, my bag. I'm gonna kind of put everything back together. Also, much like this cot, just got a sleeping bag. I probably could have used it in Big Bend. But again, if you watch that video, I think we were in like, got down to 18 degrees or whatever, and I messed up and I took a jungle bag. I didn't take a winter bag, so that sucked. Now, today though, I have a Tetons XXL sleeping bag, wide body, because I'm not a small man. Okay, so just finished up cooking dinner. Tyler's burger's still on the grill, mine's done. But this is what we have. We've got the bacon cheddar cheeseburgers from H-E-B, and then it's on an Asiago bagel. We've got some creamy pepper sauce, and then Tyler's putting garlic aioli on his. In the morning, I'm really looking forward to breakfast. We're gonna use the same bagels. We're gonna do steak, egg, hash brown, and cheese. So we're just gonna sit, we're gonna relax, we're gonna enjoy some dinner, sit around the fire, and then probably go to bed. Just finished up dinner. Like I was saying, I had to give this about 30 minutes to try and inflate some of the foam. But now what I'm going to do, you're in a really awkward spot, I apologize. I'm just gonna inflate more of it
so that it becomes more cushion, and you kind of set the firmness of your own. And then I'll put my sleeping bag and kind of get my whole setup going. Got it set up. It's got it all inflated. So fun fact, last time when we were at Big Bend, middle of the night, I guess I somehow ripped off a hangnail like while I was asleep and all the movement. And so now I've got like blood stains on my brand new sleeping pad. So that's great. I'm probably gonna have to hydrogen peroxide it next time or tomorrow morning once I'm home. So like I said, this is a fast overnight trip. So tonight's kind of just hanging out around the fire and, you know, getting everything, testing out some of the new gear. Like I was telling you about the new Teton sleeping bag and this new cot that I've got. In the morning, the plan is to wake up. We'll probably pack up just to get everything kind of out of the way. We'll have some breakfast and then we're gonna go hike. I want to find some of the trails around here. I've been camping here once. I went swimming here a couple years back, but I haven't had the opportunity to really hike around here, and that's kind of something I've been looking forward to doing. So I'm trying to hike tomorrow morning. I'll kind of keep y'all posted throughout the night, see what all we do, but really I feel like the majority of the video and kind of exploring is gonna be done tomorrow. So alrighty guys, it is 10:57 right now. It's getting close to time for bed. Fire's almost out. I'm starting to get a little cold. I'm trying to save the rest of the wood we have for tomorrow morning to make breakfast. So I'm gonna start winding down, getting ready for bed. I'm gonna change clothes, getting some warmer clothes, and then get into the sleeping bag. I do have the GoPros out. I just swapped out a battery on it. I'm trying to do night lapse. I think that they're really badass if they come out good. I'm trying to learn how to do it. The moon is rising super late, but because of the way the trees are, I won't be able to get that like I was kind of wanting to. However, I think I might have it set up as long as my battery lasts long enough that I can get it kind of going across. But you'll see it right after this clip. So hopefully it came out good. Alrighty, Ty, talk to us about the trip and how it's going for you so far.
I mean, it's going pretty good. It's a pretty last minute thing, but you know, we actually have our stuff pretty dialed in, so we were able to get everything ready to go pretty quick. And you know, we got out here after dark, but everything's set up. Had a good dinner, chilled by the fire for a little bit. It's a little after 11, getting ready to go to bed. It's been a nice, relaxing night, and I mean, I enjoy this park. It's a little different than a lot, but in the sense that where our site is, it's not exactly a backpacking site, but you still have to kind of drag all your stuff out to it. So that kind of sucks a little bit, but we're tucked back in some trees, which I'm sure Chance can show you in the morning. But yeah, I really dig it out here. We're not far from the river either. We're like 50 yards from the river right now, so it's pretty cool. But yeah.
Alright, so like Tyler was saying, we're right here by the river. I'll show you on the morning, but it is nice. We have this like constant white noise kind of going back behind us. I feel pretty confident with the new sleeping bag and newer sleeping pad and this cot that I've got that I should have pretty decent, nice night of sleep. So fingers crossed for that. If anything happens overnight, I will let y'all know. But other than that, we're gonna start wrapping up and go to bed.
Good morning, everyone. I slept way later than I expected. It's currently 9:26. Probably the latest I've ever slept in camping. This new setup was nice though, I can tell you that. So we're gonna get up, have some coffee, start getting packed up, and then get ready to go hike.
So overall, had a pretty good night's sleep. Kind of review the sleep system. I love this REI sleeping pad, fantastic. Sleeping bag kept me warm all night. I didn't wake up cold at all. The one issue I ran into is that I'm a pretty wide guy and I also roll a lot when I'm sleeping. The sleeping cot is a little narrow for me. So at one point I even thought about maybe just like going back onto the ground so that I had more room to kind of roll around. Just because it's not like a super thick one either, so it kind of folds in the middle and you get kind of put into this little valley of it. Overall, it's not bad though. So I'm going to get packed up and then I'm going to start on breakfast because I'm hungry and I would love some coffee, so I'm going to have some coffee here shortly. So main thing to note is while I'm packing up my tent, especially in a rain fly, I'm going to kind of loosely pack up the tent. I'm not going to put in a whole lot of effort to it. There's a lot of condensation on them. So when you get home, you're going to make sure you want to hang it so that it doesn't have mold growing while you have it stored inside whatever your camping stuff is. All right, so I'm going to make some coffee while splitting wood this morning. Broke my knife, so that's great. But getting ready for some breakfast. We've got a fire started right now. Tyler, you want to toss me a lighter, my friend? Okay, so excited. We've got the fire going. I'm gonna make some coffee. We've got a percolator, which I love percolators. I think they're sweet. Fill this part up with water. Some coffee grounds. And then we're using a jet boil. Him and I both have jet boils. Ours are a little different. Mine has like the self-ignite, his doesn't. But we also both use this little jet boil pan holder to put on top of your jet boil. You just set your percolator there and let it go.
A few moments later.
We got some steaks. We got some of the Texas two-step. No, I'm kidding. This is that church barbecue. Let's get it.
Alrighty. See if it's boiling yet. It sure is percolating. So a little bit longer on the coffee. Tyler's over there starting to season up some of the steaks for us. You got the pan heating up on the fire. It's gonna be a good morning. Olive oil too for the
Honestly, I just cooked them hash browns first, because the Maggie's we can just toss on there at the end.
I'm doing. You gotta hit it with a little bit of this meat church blanco. Should just be salt, pepper, garlic, but it's delicious and it's like the perfect blend of it. So we got some pretty cheap steaks solely because this is for breakfast. I'm very much a ribeye guy, but these are just some small sirloins for the steak.
You get them from HEB?
I did get it from HEB.
HEB sponsor us.
Everything bought here, as far as groceries
HEB.
go, is from my HEB, including Cafe Ole, Taste of the Hill Country.
To Texas with love.
So these steaks definitely don't have the sear on them that I'd like. You kind of run into that issue. That one can go longer. But I know I'm a medium rare kind of guy. I think Tyler is too. So it's kind of like to keep from overcooking, we're gonna not get that nice sear that we like. So a little hack for you guys. You can buy the $70, $80 pan so you can get for camping. However, what I did is I went to Goodwill and I bought this little pan, super lightweight, easy enough to strap on the outside of a backpack for backpacking. Spent $3 on it. This is the first use we're getting out of it. Kind of like the testing, because we have backups here, so I make sure it's good before I take it backpacking. But that's my recommendation. Don't drop the $70, $80 unless you want to. I would just go to Goodwill, get the cheap pans that you can get from there.
You're gonna get some backpacker on that, on your comments now, and be like, that weighs half a pound. Do you know how much half a pound is?
So we were supposed to have 3 people out here. One of his homeboys backed out on us. I did get everybody a little surprise. I guess I'm gonna have one now. I've got good old chocolate milk, also purchased from my HEB.
With love.
Well, right now we're cooking low and slow because our fire's not ripping like we want. Potatoes are nowhere near what I want them to be. However, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat them. What I've got for my bagel here is some cream cheese. Got some onion and chives, cream cheese. We're gonna throw my steak back on, let that reheat a little bit. Alrighty, and like I said, these are nowhere near as done as I would like them to be. However, I'm hungry, so a little hash browns onto the bagel. That should be reheated good enough. There it is. A little steak and potato breakfast bagel. I was gonna do eggs on it, however, with the potatoes taking so long, we decided to forego the eggs. My broken knife's been used a whole lot this trip. I kind of use them for everything, so. Looks pretty good. Tell you, cooking over a campfire, there ain't nothing wrong with this. So the steak's definitely a little bit chewy. I think it's more of the cut of the steak, as well as like not doing that super hot and fast sear like I would typically do. Alright guys, so we are getting all cleaned up. If you come out and you're out in nature, specifically at state parks, national parks, clean up after yourself. Make sure you're not going to leave any trash lying around, and then also leave it better than you found it. So walk through, pick up trash if you come across it. State parks like this is what's keeping the state beautiful, on top of the fact of these are really highly trafficked areas. So during the summer, Guadalupe River State Park is packed, and so a lot of trash gets left around. Do your part, clean it up. Alrighty, so currently speaking, we are walking along the Guadalupe River right now. It is crystal clear water and it's beautiful.
This right here is Mexico, and we just crossed and we're in the US right now.
If you watch the Big Bend video, you'll get that reference. But the water's crystal clear here. It stays pretty cold year round. Currently, with it being February, there's not a whole lot of people out here. During the summer, this place gets packed though. All right, Tyler, go ahead and say that again for us.
Can you believe that George Washington and dinosaurs existed at the same time here?
That's because history began in 1776. Anything else before that was dumb. It's really Jesus, a giant gap, and then George Washington. So much like me trying to get into the videography, Tyler's out here. He has an old film camera that he got from one of his friends. He's trying to learn how to do film photography. So once he gets those made up, I'm probably gonna put them in the video just so we can kind of see his work. And like I was telling y'all in the beginning of this video, I want y'all to see my growth in like the videography and editing side. I feel like it'd also be cool to see some of Tyler's growth on his photography side. So Texas is breathtaking. Last video you saw us all the way in Big Bend. That's 8-9 hours from this location. We are currently like 10 minutes out of Boulevardy Spring Branch, 45 minutes out of New Braunfels, and probably an hour and 10 minutes out of San Antonio. And we are in this beautiful oasis. Crystal clear water. We've got these rolling hills on this side. We've got cliffs back there, and we're just gonna keep on walking down the side of the Guadalupe River. Again, Texas is wonderful. It's beautiful.
Alrighty guys, we just finished up our little overnight trip. It is currently 1 p.m. We did a little bit of hike this morning. I wish we could have done a little bit more. However, we do have to get back to reality. It's a fast trip, fast turnaround, and sometimes that sucks, but even just being out here for one night is kind of a good reset. I go back to work tomorrow. I think he's off, but so it's kind of back to the real world for us. If y'all are ever in the area, check out Guadalupe River State Park. It is beautiful, and it's just another place to add to the bucket list. So always remember, get outdoors, have fun, respect nature, and enjoy it.